Okay. So there have been someone there 3 p.m.
Yes, so 3 p.m.
Okay. So who is that I should introduce here? So what we'll do, we'll ask everybody here to introduce themselves. Okay, are we ready?
Yes.
Asanteni sana. I want to thank you all for coming, especially the fourth estate. This is a very serious moment in our country's history. We are going through probably the worst times of constitutional delinquency we have ever witnessed from a head of state. We have a head of state who has decided that the constitution is irrelevant. We have police officers and so-called armed forces that have decided that our democracy and the tenets for which our forefathers fought for this country have been suspended. There is only God that we recognize that is above us. Everybody else is below the sovereign Kenyan. That is the wish of God. That is the constitution of this land. We have a statement here in relation to the killings and abductions that have been going on in this country ever since the peaceful demonstrations that started in June. Many of us on this table are victims of this. We have families here that have been so devastated by the loss of loved ones, especially young ones. But before I read this statement, I would appreciate your patience in recognition of some of the people who are seated here with me. Some people who are here with me have suffered untold inhuman treatment, all in the name of exercising our democracy as enshrined in our constitution. So before I say much, I think Felix, you can ask people to stand up, or we just start from the end there, right? Introduce yourselves, please stand up, introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Adrian Roach. We are leading university student activism to reinvent and bring back the student activism that we've been having for a long period of time that we have lost. Right now the major discourse has been on the new party model and the role that has been in the education sector. And we want students to be active and aware of whatever is going on. We are not in support of what the government has done in trying to call out student leaders in having personal meetings, which stand up for the students and majorly for all our individuals who are being threatened, including students themselves, by the anarchism that is being displayed by this government. Thank you.
The media, the social media about the bodies that were retrieved from Kware, the families of the victims, they are being threatened, and the youths who helped to retrieve the bodies, they are being threatened by the DCI. I think this is uncalled for, and this is what we should stop. I don't know why people should lose their lives for someone to get into power, for someone to refuse to get out of power. I think people have spoken, the people of Kenya, we saw the protests against Ruto in power because this man came into power through lies, lying to the people of Kenya, and this is what we are dealing with. We are dealing with an ecosystem that people who stop at nothing to continue getting into power. This is the problem that we must deal with squarely and know how to get out of this mess. Thank you so much for now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Habari zenu. My name is Florence Kanywa. I'm a social justice activist, and I am the leader Women League Free Kenya movement. Just to let you know that the three persons who were abducted on 19th are members of Free Kenya movement. Bob Jagi being our chairman, and we are really saddened by what happened, and we are here to demand they be brought back to us, dead or alive. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Charles Olesakei. I'm Charles Olesakei from Kajiado County, youth leader from Kajiado. I am here representing Bob's family. I am from Free Kenya movement. We have been on the ground with him, championing for our rights. And the reason we are here today is because someone somewhere has decided kuliwa. Hatusemi walikuwa abducted. Serikali haijatupatia majibu. Leo ikiwa ni siku ya 15 tangu hawa vijana kuchukuliwa na kupotea. Polisi wamedinai kwamba waliwa arrest ama lakini tumekuja tujiulize pia, kama polisi wanasema hawakushika hawa watu ama hawayuko na hawa watu, watuambie nani wako nayo. And I want to ask, itakuwaje kuna milisha ina operate kwa hii nchi na rais anasema hajui? Anasema hajui kwamba kuna watu wamepotea. The president the other day said that he is not aware.
We'll come back to the introductions. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, we are at a very sad stage in the country's history. I'm going to read this statement and know that it has been compiled by all of us because we want to send a message directly to William Samoei Ruto. Directly to him. Crooked Ruto is responsible for the illegal abductions and killings. Today, we stand in solidarity and empathy with all the families here and those who did not make it to come for their sons and daughters who have been abducted and have disappeared. It is devastating for a family and friends when a loved one disappears. Yet this is a harsh reality facing Kenya today. I'm very touched by the plight that has been going on, and more so because Bob Jagi and the Longman twins came to visit me of us personally. Your pain is my pain. We are sounding the alarm. We are on the edge of an abyss and moving speedily in the wrong direction. We must wake up and collectively demand for truth, accountability, and justice. Many times it is said that if it happens to one, we keep quiet. It happens to another, we keep quiet. Eventually it will land in each of our doorsteps. So-called terror suspects. We've seen it over the years. But because there is a security team that tells us that it's for our benefit, we keep quiet. Today they have extended it to people who have been peacefully demonstrating in this country. Abductions is becoming a way of life. Extrajudicial killings a way of life. This is not the Kenya. Abductions and forced disappearances and extrajudicial killings in Kenya remain a state strategy to spread terror amongst us. The feeling of insecurity and fear it generates is not limited to close relatives of the abducted or the disappeared only. It affects each and every one of us. Illegal abductions and enforced disappearances violates the right to life, liberty, protection before the law, and protection from other cruel, inhumane treatment and punishment. And victims and survivors. Like we have here. We have a young man here who was abducted all the way to Maragua. He'll tell you his story. Abductions are a gross violation of the international law, including is kidnapping people, kidnapping Kenyans. They are a crime against humanity. Family and friends of people who have been abducted and disappeared experience slow mental anguish, not knowing whether their son or daughter, mother or father are still alive, not knowing whether he or she is being held or how they are being treated. Searching for the truth could hold families in great danger. There are some families we wanted to visit. I myself directly, with my deputy Willis Otieno, and I can tell you, those families are afraid. They want to meet us in private because they are afraid that the attention we may cause will victimize them. No order or instruction of any public authority, civilian, military, or other, may be invoked to justify a form of abduction, kidnapping, to enforce disappearance. Any person receiving such an order, or instruction shall have the right and duty to not obey it. Article 26 of the Constitution of Kenya guarantees every Kenyan the right to life, specifically stating a person shall not be deprived of life intentionally. Article 28 and 29 of the Constitution provides the human dignity, freedom, and security of the persons, which includes and not be subjected to torture or treated or punished in a cruel and inhumane manner. The Inspector General of the National Police Service, under Article 245 of the Constitution, must exercise independent command of the police. We have seen what is going on. We have an IG who stands up and says you can demonstrate. It's in the Constitution. 2 days later, he's chasing everybody from the streets, and his officers are shooting. Who is giving him those orders? IG is constitutionally required to ensure the police operate with the highest standards of professionalism and comply with constitutional standards of human rights and fundamental freedoms while performing their work. In exercise of the command of the police, the IG has the constitutional responsibility to ensure that the officers commit to protect the right of life of all Kenyans by adhering to the Constitution. President William Ruto took oath and swore that he would truly and diligently serve the people of the Republic and the Republic of Kenya. He would diligently discharge his duties and perform functions in the office of the President while doing justice, all in accordance with the Constitution and the laws of Kenya without fear, favor, affection, or ill will. President Ruto, and I say crooked Ruto, the crooked man, took oath and swore to faithfully bear true allegiance to the Republic of Kenya and will observe, protect, and defend the Constitution of this country. And he will protect and uphold the sovereignty, the integrity, and the dignity of every single Kenyan. That is an oath you are swearing to God before 54 million Kenyans. Regrettably, today it can be confirmed that crooked Ruto has not only violated the Constitution of Kenya, but has contravened his oath of office. He has become a constitutional delinquent. For the avoidance of any doubt, if any of you have any, crooked Ruto is solely responsible for the abductions, enforced disappearances, and the murders of young Kenyans, Gen Z. He has turned his police force into a political militia. Kenyans must never forget William Ruto's history. And Kenyans will never forget what he's doing to us today. Crooked Ruto is hypocritically mocking, laughing, and demeaning the abducted, disappeared, and murdered sons and daughters of this country, and their loved ones who are painfully crying daily. The only crime they have committed is exercising their constitutional and democratic right to peacefully and unarmed demonstrate on the streets in our country. We will not yield to crooked Ruto's tyranny. We will not. Because to yield is to advertise to all those that have fought for the democracy that we have today, starting from 1920. We are telling them that we have succumbed to the will of tyranny. William Ruto will not take us there. He is no different. When you look at that man, read the history of people like Pol Pot of Vietnam, Adolf Hitler. Read the history of Amin Dada, who was just next door to us, Omar Bashir, who created atrocities in Sudan. He is no different. He's not a man to glorify. That is a man to feel shame that he represents this great country called Kenya in any position. Finally, I wish to assure the abducted